Alright. It's me again, unfortunately, with 29 more dragons than last time. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is 80 dragons. It's a miscellaneous category, and it's seen as a complete meme because there's not a whole lot to differentiate it from any percent. Also, no game audio. Sorry.
Thank you for releasing.
Anyway, this is Nestor, the molester, and he is the bester, and you know that because his cutscene is unskippable.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
And I won't do that anymore. I'm sorry, that was horrible. But Nestor is the only dragon you can't skip. Unfortunately, you have to sit through his boring dialogue. Can you guys hear the game now, by the way? I'm sorry, that was on my end. Hopefully it should be fixed now. And anyway, unlike any percent, we'll actually be doing some things in Artisans. But that, just like any percent, it only really amounts to freeing dragons. It's low, hold on. But yeah, like I mentioned in the any percent run, the Artisans levels are pretty empty and that's me trying to flame charge too quickly. I've been making that mistake on that same exact board a few times the last couple of days. So, much like any percent, we're mostly just going to be freeing dragons and getting gems on the way. So, I can just repeat myself constantly, which I'm probably going to end up doing a lot of because explaining things, haha, imagine. But things like that, you can carry your charge momentum into your jump if you're crafty with your movements. And by crafty, I mean it's not really all that hard. But it allows you to make those jumps that are just barely out of reach. Anyway, this is Stone Hill. If you saw the any percent run, then this is the first level you might be familiar with. And we're basically going to be doing the same thing. Now, I mentioned there's a lot of similarities to any percent, and that is very true. The meme does hold up. However, there is another category, 80 dragons, but with the all levels cheat. So you're just bum rushing through the levels, getting all the dragons, and it is a much different category. But I still like this category, honestly. I think it's neat and has some cool little nuances and its own little unique things to it. But then again, it's still just any percent with a few extra dragons. And you actually see the levels in Dream Reapers. So again, same concept as the skip you saw in Dark Hollow. Me trying to flame too early. Yeah, sorry, this is a bit of a downgrade from Jay, to say the least. By the way, I'm gonna apologize in advance if I get any percent muscle memory confused with this. Juggling two categories, especially when they're so similar, is kind of hard. So Town Square, again, much like Stonehill, we're going to be doing virtually the same thing we did in any percent. Isn't this exciting? Aren't you having fun, chat? Oh, failed that again. At least I'm not having any trouble with the skips and Artisans. Yeah, this is a pretty quick level. especially that upper section with all those higher value gems. It's one of the better sections in Artisans, I guess. But Artisans is still a whole lot of nothing. And now, unlike the any percent run, we'll actually be entering Toasty. And this level is fucking horrible for gems, as you can imagine, it only having 100 gems. So, we're not going to bother. In fact, there's one part of the level where I will actually go out of my way to get some gems, and calling it going out of my way is a bit of a stretch. Hopefully you saw it there. But that's all we need, we just need to get this one guy. Nevin kind of names that. And dragons in this game have weird names. I don't think that's worth dwelling on, though. But that's the last level in Artisans. We're almost done. So, gem management, I feel, is even more important in this category, just because you have so many opportunities for gems, so many options, and you obviously don't want to waste time, so trying to figure out and knowing which is best and most optimal. It's really interesting, especially with the differences from any percent. So, I need 1200 gems, as you might remember from the any percent run. The interesting thing with my route is I don't do night fight. I don't do night flight. So, I'm actually really tight on gems for these first two home worlds. And I usually leave Peacekeepers with like 1210, 1215. In fact, I only do two speedways, Crystal and Wild Flight. Goes to show how many gems you have at your disposal. You can just completely ditch two of the speedways. Night Flight, I don't know if it's really worth visiting. You could argue maybe Icy Flight, but it's also really out of the way, unlike Night Flight. But Night Flight is longer. And admittedly, I don't time things in any of the games I run as much as I should. I maybe timed a few things in Gex and that's it. I just do runs. That's a pretty tough jump anyway. Oh, at least I have some extra gems now. Huh. Now here's where we're finally going to see something different from any percent in a level that was already done in that category. You have to make a long-ass detour just for one dragon. And that's it. Exciting. So, if you actually got excited from that very subtle difference in routing, well, you're gonna be disappointed because we got more of the same here. And by more of the same, I mean more of the same in any percent. Most of this commentary is just going to be making unoriginal jokes about how this category is identical to any percent. Again, because of how tight gems are in these first... Couldn't even jump there, nice. But because of how tight the gems are in these first two homeworlds, I really don't want to miss gems. And again, there is a proxy in this level that I should probably do. There's no reason I should go for that, but why not? I'm a Deegan, so that's why. Now we're going back to this barren, empty space because we need a dragon. Which is why I should do the proxy. After all, this is a speedrun. Not doing every strat. Can I even call myself a speedrunner? Fucking posers running rampant, I swear. In fact, the ultimate testament to how much of a poser I am is I will not be doing Twilight Harbor skip in this run. Which you would ideally do, and it would save like 15 seconds max. Which is probably the ultimate meme, but oh well. And then, just like any percent, Dr. Shempa's the hardest boss. No, what you do is you go into Twilight Harbor, you rescue both the dragons, you leave after getting the second dragon, and then you do Twilight Harbor skip to save 10 to 15 seconds. Alright. Ah! I'm always really bad with that jump, and I try to delay the actual jump as much as possible, and then that happens. And like I mentioned, I won't be doing Night Flight. The second longest speedway, I believe, behind Sunny Flight. So you're gonna have to wait till the next homeworld to see a flight level. For now, it's Ice Cavern now. Which I like. Like it more than any of the speedways, that's for certain. Good idea. Yeah, after this homeworld, I can be a lot looser with the gems. So I won't have to worry about not making it. Thankfully, I am good on gems. I did need to get like, a couple of backups in Dr. Shemp. But I'm fine. Alright. Yeah, I'm on a PS2. Oops. Anyway, that is Ice Cavern, and as you'll see, we have barely just enough gems. Anyway, that is the not combat garden. Now we can go on to Magic Crafters. Anyway, 5 dragon eggs. Like I mentioned in the last run, those dragon eggs are an afterthought, if anything. Alpine Ridge, again, pretty cycle-heavy level. Not much has changed since any percent, to say the least. We gotta be quick with our movements, not bonk, to make the stair cycle, which, yeah, I'm not gonna do it now. And then there's the big wall, which is not a problem. You can just do that. And then there's that little platform. Turn the wrong direction there. Also, I just want to say, the stairs are the hardest part of this game. Hardest enemy in this game. Might be an exaggeration, but whatever. And then this. Oh my god, oh, it's such an amazing glitch. Ooh. Took all my gamer skill to perform that out of bounds. Alright, this is the first level. I think we're gonna see some, like, real major differences from any percent. Already at a great start. Whoops, that was dumb. Anyway, it's because of these pillars that you want to go as fast as possible. And it is a pretty tight cycle to make, all things considered. Like, you just can't afford to make any mistakes, really. Yeah, it's pretty similar to any percent. So far, at least. Except there would be some differences, and they're coming up. And yeah, you won't have to put up with the no music for much longer, because that's it. That's all we do in High Caves. really short level when you consider the fact that there's only 3 dragons. So that's actually going to be the first supercharge you'll see in the run. Because we can charge in this game, unlike chargeless, and unlike J. So... And again, nothing really changes in this level. How many dragons is 80 dragons? I don't know. I haven't figured that out myself. So, big supercharged section. Whee! Yeah, I got that. And I bought this. I don't think anyone can count that high. You're not alone. I don't know, man. I probably should have popped in Spyro free. There's more dragons there, I count. Definitely. That's 25. Get out of anything. Alright, so now you're gonna actually see a speedway for once. Crystal Flight has some planes in the beginning that can be pretty tricky to get all of, but after that it's not really a problem. As I mentioned in the any percent run, knowing just how far the hitbox of your flame extends can really help you in a situation like that. Because I feel like the reason a lot of people won't make that, won't get all the planes right there, like I did right there, was because they turn too much, like ascend and descend at too great of a rate. And then the animation skip. Hey, I actually got Dragon Skip. So up next is questionable boss name. Also element there. A billion jokes made already. I don't need to make any more, but I guess I could say that I actually do like this level. I think it's really fun and it's very fast paced, especially when you don't pivot right at the beginning. Or there. This is not a good level. It's just getting in the way. Only dragon here. I thought I was gonna fall there, honestly, but I didn't. god. And that is Blowhard. And Magic Crafters, for that matter. Been a fun time. Alright, time for a pretty major difference from any percent, depending on who you are at least. I think you can already tell what that is. Sadly, I can't make a really bad joke about it, because we actually do have to go into Terrace Village. Whoops. Ah. And that's all we'll be doing here. Actually got to see it in an any percent run. This technically isn't any percent, hahaha, XD. This joke totally hasn't run its course by now. Anyway. Missed the swag strat, sadly. Alright, this will be the last flight level we'll do, Wild Flight. So enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. Again, this all leads up to the very end of the level, where how well you play the rest of it leading up to that will determine what cycles you get, obviously, and what route you should do, which is why I should probably learn the other route for practicing. But I'm lazy. So lazy that the second run I'm doing here is basically just a rehash of the first, haha. Yeah, that's it for now. Up next is Misty Bog, which also has a fair amount of differences from the any percent route. Though I don't like being at green sparks. Like, I would like to be at least blue sparks entering this level. You'll know why right about now. Sadly, because I don't have another form of sparks, I can't just fly directly to the dragon. I have to do this. What lives do I have? Yeah. all just death abuse. Sadly, everything else from now on will be very similar to any percent though, so we had our fun. Oops. Oh, I see, I wasn't even expecting to get that gem at that point. At least good, so. Anyway, time for Guantanamo. We can get all 3 times here. Anyway, next 2 levels. Well, again, I'm gonna go back to the any percent ripping off. I need fodder also. Oops. But that's okay, because this is my favorite level in the game. So it's okay when it does it. Maybe I can even beat this thief to the island. Woohoo. And then I do that. Oh man. Been a while since I've done that. Alright, we're cheating. Like, am I really failing this? I'm, okay. I thought I was gonna fail it a 3rd time. That would have been so sad. God. Anyway. Guess we can move on from humongous mistakes. This run is invalid though, not like in PB anyway, but 99 lives cheap because I'd rather do that in a marathon than have you all sit through a boring game over and then going back through treetops to get to that point, even if it might not take that long. Oh, I actually got one of them. But still, I don't want to have to do that. I actually got one of those spring chests with supercharge. You can get both of them even, but that's really tough. You can also get both of those fan chests with supercharge, which is also very tough. 14's a pretty big number, man. That's almost 15. Metalhead. I shouldn't have to do any of the awkward cleaning up I had to do in my any percent run, but I can do that, I guess. In fucking 14, what will they think of next? Get hit. I always jump there too early and get caught up on that wall. Anyway, Metalhead. Again, it's a cycle-based boss, and how you play the level will determine these cycles. I think it only matters starting from a certain point of level. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trying to cut my charge as early as possible, going for those optimizations that just don't know. I've been doing that a lot lately, just jumping into that whirlwind a tad bit too early. Anyway, here's gonna be another big difference from any percent. Ain't that beautiful? Isn't that just lovely? Also, this can still PB. That's sad. It won't count though. It'll be invalid because it cheats, but yeah. Maybe that'll convince me to keep going. Anyway, here's where we're gonna see the big boy differences. Because by this point, 90%, you don't need dragons. All you need are some more gems, but haunted towers and 90%. You ever see the day you'd see it? You ever think the day you'd see this? I can't talk. Yeah, this is a fun level, honestly. It's tough, but it's fun. Has a heavy emphasis on going fast and being rewarded for it. And no, I will not be going for the proxy. I'll also not be going for the U-turn here, because I am a little baby. Little babby. And we gotta get to the top before all these knights come to life, which, to be fair, is pretty generous. So it allows you to perform the greatest glitch in all of video games, the infinite flame power-up in haunted towers. It is my favorite glitch in all of gaming. Alright, I got all the flame charges there, nice. Also, dropping the obvious sarcasm. No, it's not a glitch, it's completely intended. I'm sure some people in the chat will get what I'm referencing. Now, I do want to try to leave this level with as much health as possible. I almost died there, which would have been so tragic. Anyway, that's all the dragons. I'm gonna get some more gems though, because this level is pretty decent for gems. Now, the reason I want to try to leave with as much health as possible, because I actually go for the wall glide after this level in this category. I probably won't get it, but I go for it, because why not? Nope. Because you do have to hug that wall a pretty good deal to actually gain some height. Because it is a very tight wall glide to make. The platform you want to land on is pretty far away, and there's very little leniency. But anyway, Dark Passage is absolutely amazing for gems. Because this level, you're required to go through the long section. You're required to go through like virtually the entire level just to get all the dragons. So you might as well get whatever gems you can. And it's a really good level for gems. Did it without taking damage, but I didn't get both of them at the same time. Got all three of those dogtails. It's the last dragon, but there's still a good amount of gems we can get. Not much left in the level now. Oh, I forgot there was one more dragon. I don't even know the game I'm running. Wow. Okay, that's the last dragon. $433 gems. Isn't that amazing? And I guess to be poetic, or whatever, we're gonna follow it up with a level that is absolutely terrible for gems. Well, actually, there is one, like, good section of it, as far as gems go, but I'm not sure how worth it is unless you're doing the proxy, which I have never gotten, so... It's probably worth it, honestly, but you have to cut a supercharge early. There's that supercharge I mentioned. Or I can just do that anyway. Again, not much to do in that level. There's just free dragons, and it's not the best for gems, except for that one section, which may or may not be ideal to do with the proxy. Don't want to get hit by those guys, whatever they are. Yeah, man. I'm struggling so much. Alright. Jacques. See how good I am on gems? Maybe even a little too good, because you have to make a slight detour in this level. I'm probably going to be super over-gemmed at this point. In fact, I am going to be, no doubt about it. But... oh well, I'd rather have that than be over-gemmed. What am I doing? I don't know. And now we'll actually be getting this dragon. Jacques Knight might be worth incorporating into this category. In fact, it probably is. Okay, I'm not as over-gemmed as I thought. Anyway. On to Nasty's world, where we don't have to worry about gems anymore, we just need to worry about dragons. So there is a little more to these levels than an 80%, but that's not really the most meaningful thing in the world. When you consider it just means going out of your way to get a few dragons. Oops. Oh my god, how did that even work? Okay. I don't know what that was just now. Honestly, that original proxy shouldn't have even worked, but it did. So I won't complain. But yeah, we just need to get that dragon, and now we can go. So I mentioned this earlier. One of the best parts about this run is after you freed a second dragon in this level, it saves about maybe 15 seconds max to leave the level and then do Twilight Harbor skip. No, I will not be doing that. I am not crazy. Alright. Okay. And now I'm just gonna try to bum rush it because I want to approach Nasty Nork with 0 health. So I'm not gonna get any help. And now I should leave the level now, but I won't because... Not doing Twilight Harbor skip, yeah. Again, fucking poser I am. Not going for every strat. But the reason why I want to approach Nasty Nork with no health is because in this category you do a form of credit skip. It doesn't involve the proxy or out of bounds, but rather you just kill him while you're on the same level as him, as he hits you. You don't get all the gems, but you don't need that in this category. You just need to do the credit skip so you can go to the last dragon immediately. No. That's kind of a bad mistake. That was sad. Anyway, as I mentioned, Nasty Nork loves to rubber band, so you don't want to just get far ahead of him. That's very slow. What I always try to go for is having him push me. But yeah, no way I could get that here. Having him push you is pretty tough anyway, because most of the time you just get pushed off to the side. I got too close. Oh, and this is the easy credit skip. Well, I guess not anymore, considering what's been found recently. I guess that's what I get for trying to be ballsy and going into this with no help. Another thing I should point out, when he shoots those green fireballs, I think it's every 3 of them? He does a longer animation, and I have never been able to get credit skip with that attack, so you need to watch out for that. Make sure you don't try to do it when he does that longer animation attack. If it's possible to do it with that, then I've never gotten it. But you'll see what I mean by that now that I will have to take some hits. I could have done it there, but like, see here? He waits a bit. Yeah, there it is. The new credit skip involves opening your disc tray when the credits start, closing it once it leaves Artisans. Also, time's going to be when the dragon counter flips to 80 to get ready on time. It's still about a minute slower, and time. That was... eh. Anyway, that's 80 Dragon, which is an alright miscellaneous category, I think. 90% memes aside. Up next is 14 Tally, so enjoy that. Thanks for having me. That's all you have to put up with now.